Hi everyone, welcome to P-Bolic Notes. My name is Michael Kirkchain and today is Wednesday, June 15th, 2022, and welcome to my channel. The topic for today is a very good one. It's one that I read today on, I believe, a billionaire investor. His name is, I want to spell it properly, it's Jeffrey Gundlach. He basically was on CNBC saying that potentially Bitcoin can go down to $10,000. So basically, I'll dedicate my video today to the technical analysis of what Mr. Gundlach was saying, and also kind of show you why I believe his completely off. And obviously, we'll let the charts do the talking to Mr. Gundlach's opinion. Before we get started, obviously, there's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so full disclaimer as always. And we're just doing this to kind of pay attention to the space, and because I personally invest in the space as well. Let's get started by doing the screen share and looking at all the charts. So the first thing is I'll refer to the article just so that you know what I'm talking about. I had it on this benziga.com, and as well I found it, and this is where they said basically that Jeffrey Gundlach on Wednesday warned that Bitcoin's plunge may not be over. It looks like it's being liquidated. Gundlach said on Wednesday on CNBC's closing bell overtime. So I'm not bullish at 20,000 or 21,000 on Bitcoin. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it went down to $10,000. Okay, so let's see where all this goes step by step. Let's first put away this article and let's look at the charts one by one. So the first thing I'm going to look at with you is what is going on with Bitcoin's chart as far as its a weekly chart. So if I look at the weekly chart of what Bitcoin is doing, we know that right now, where we stand today, basically, is that today we're approximately at the range of around 22,000 US dollars. And I see what he's talking about. Mr. Gundlach is saying, well, you know what? I see the support line here at the previous all-time high of around something in the range of 20 grand. And it may not hold up, and then it could go down to the next support line, which is over here, which is going to be around the mark of around 12,000 US dollars. Okay, so let's just play this out, the scenario. So let's assume that we're here at this range of this 20,000 US dollar mark, and that Bitcoin doesn't hold up. It completely capitulates, right? That means there was no support, and it just completely goes straight down. Now, is that feasible? Is that realistic? Obviously, this space is not absolute. Anything can happen, as we know. But let's see, just see if this is realistic. So if we assume that it's going all the way down here, and let's assume that it's going to hit this magic $10,000 mark that Mr. Gundlach is saying, which is right over here. Okay, so let's see what that would mean. If I look at what does that mean with Bitcoin's dominance chart. So Bitcoin's dominance chart, which is a great chart, it kind of shows where the dominance of Bitcoin is versus the entire total cryptocurrency space. Means that what Mr. Gundlach is saying is that means that potentially, let's say if we look at what was the worst case scenario for Bitcoin's dominance to have been as far as the total crypto space, then it would be, let's say, something in range of around 35%, right? So let's say if Bitcoin is collapsing, it's falling, then that means that it's going to be taking less and less of the crypto space. That's going to be at 35%. Or let's say if we look at the highest range of the number, it's going to be at 98%, right? So these are the two ranges for Bitcoin's dominance, even though in recent times, as if we go back to this period of December 2017 onwards, it's been basically, it never been lower than 35%, and it's never been higher than really at 73%. So, right, so we can do these scenarios for both these examples. We can do it at 35%, and we can also do it at 73%. So I'll mark those down just so that I can share with you afterwards both scenarios. And I can even do it for argument's sake, just so that we've hit everything. We could do it at 98% as well. So let's see what that would imply. So if we look at on what's going on with coin market cap, so we know that basically as of today, of the 21 million supply of max supply of Bitcoin, that currently we have a total supply of circulating supply of 19,068, right? So that means that's how much is circulating as of today. So then if you look at these calculations, we say, okay, at this 19,068, today the price of Bitcoin currently is in the range of 22,567 US dollars. So let's put that here, 567 US dollars. And what it means is that the total market cap of Bitcoin will be at around $430 billion, right? And if it's going down to $10,000, then all of a sudden, times this number of Bitcoins of 19,000 Bitcoin, then we're going to be at a total market cap of something in the range of $190 billion, right? So if we're hitting the 35% market cap, then what that means is that the total crypto space would have to be at the range of $544 billion, right? Because that means Bitcoin's at the 35% market cap. Then that means that the total crypto space would have to be at $544 billion. So far, so good. Okay, let's see how these will play out. Let's say if we're going to be hitting this other ratio of, let's say, 73%, where Bitcoin is going to be at 70% of the total space, and we said that it's hitting this $190 billion total market cap. And if we want, what does 100% mean? Then 100% is going to be 100 times this number divided by 73. It would mean that basically that all of a sudden, then the total market cap of the entire crypto space would have to be in range of $261 billion. So now it gets even more ridiculous. And I will explain to you why I'm saying that. Let's then look at the situation where, well, let's say we've taken care of the 35%, we've also taken care of the 70%. Let's say if Bitcoin was going to be at 98% of the entire market cap. So if Bitcoin is going to be a Bitcoin dominance of 98%, and this is representing this $190 billion total market cap, then what does that mean for the entire crypto space? Then what that means is that the entire crypto space is going to be 100 times this magic number divided by 98. Then that means the total crypto market cap will have to be in the range of $194 billion, right? So basically, so if we're going to be following this hypothesis of Mr. Gundlach, where he's saying that Bitcoin may hit $10,000 US dollars, then that means the total market cap of the entire ecosystem will have to hover between the range of either in range of 200 billion all the way up to 544 billion, right? From 200 to 544. Now let's see why this makes absolute no sense. If we bring the total crypto cap market cap chart, what are we going to be observing? We're going to be observing that as far as the total crypto space is concerned, we knew that there was a head and shoulders pattern, and we knew that if we looked at the head and shoulders pattern, it called it beautifully that potentially what would happen was that this entire space would potentially go down to something in the range of $806 billion. Beautiful. This is why technical analysis is so phenomenal, especially if you look at the longer periods, is that it catches everything beautifully and does give us an idea about exactly what's going on with the entire space. Obviously, as we make these time spans shorter, if we go hourly or daily or by minutes, I'm not sure if you can do by minute, but if we do, then it's going to be very volatile because it's going to be for day trading and stuff, which is not what we're doing here. So again, if I look at what's going on here with this head and shoulder pattern, it means that it caught it perfectly that there was a high probability that the total crypto space would go down to something in the range of to around $800 billion from its which was over here, basically from this mark of 1.6 trillion down to something in the range of around 820 billion, which it did. It beautifully did. Unfortunately for us, the investors in the space, but it did. Now, which is coincidentally, this also is the entire the 200-week moving average. This is where it is, exactly where it's at right now. Let's say if it's going to go down to these ranges of where Mr. Gundlach is saying, he's saying something in the range of 200 billion all the way to 545 billion, right? So that means that he's saying basically the entire crypto space is going to go from this range of something in the range of 200 billion to potentially it's going to go to maybe at 544 billion. I'll put this in different colors just so we can see how this does not work out. So we'll put this in yellow. That way we're all seeing it clearly. And this is going to be at 200 billion. And then let's say if we do something at the range of 544 billion, right? Now, what is the problem with this? So this would work out if we had investors in the space that were just basically selling or trading or just doing nothing. Not really. This would be something that could potentially be of case where there'll be total capitulation, even only if the crypto space was full of investors, there were traders, and so forth. Now, what would happen if we do the on-chain analysis? So I will share with you the on-chain analysis. What would we see with the on-chain analysis? So if we look at what's going on with the time the addresses are held, we see that the hodlers actually in the space are keeping their, they keep on going higher and higher and higher and higher. So of the total address that's in the space, as time advances, the more time advances, the more there's hodlers, meaning that the more there's people that are holding on to their Bitcoin and not really trading it. Now, what are hodlers as far as into the block is concerned? A hodler are those that are holding their tokens for over a year, right? So we see clearly that, and if I chart this properly on a smaller, on a larger file, I just downloaded this to Excel, that way we could see it better. We see how clearly that those that are the cruisers, which are those that have held Bitcoin for 1 to 12 months, and those that are hodlers that have held it for over 12 months, are basically, they're actually a major party of the ecosystem. Meanwhile, the traders, those who are just trading up and down and so forth, those that hold less than a month, they represent much smaller space of the ecosystem. Meaning that, to summarize, what does that mean? What Mr. Gundlach is saying as far as Bitcoin going down, maybe going below the $20,000 mark, yes, it could happen. Obviously, the charts did show that to us, that there's a potential of it going lower and so forth, as we saw from this chart. But will it really go down to this $10,000 mark, US dollar mark? It's highly unlikely. So that means that the bottom may be somewhere below this 20,000 US dollar mark, maybe in the 18, maybe in the 17, in the 16, who knows? I mean, and we don't know exactly where it's going to be, but it definitely, Bitcoin hitting down this 10,000 US dollar mark would make no sense, because it just would not work out with the numbers. So I thank everyone for watching this. Obviously, it's not absolute. It's not financial advice. Do your own research. We're not saying go invest in Bitcoin here. I'm just looking at what Mr. Gundlach had said and just worked it out to show you that the numbers don't add up. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. All the best. Bye-bye.